Raise the Roof Production.
Well, you'll never know the heartache of looking a grown man in the eye, and he asks, am I gonna make it? And you've got to lie. Well, they call me Doc, but I ain't got no degree. When shit hits the fan, they're calling for me. From bluegrass, Kentucky, with red blood on my hands, nobody calls me hero except for my friends. Yeah, they call me Doc.
Hello, brothers and sisters and American patriots. Welcome to another episode of Sick Call with Doc. I'm your host, Rod Doc Walbeck, United States Navy Hospital Corpsman veteran. On the dials behind, always Brian Devil Dog Roof from Raise the Roof Productions and a blood brother Marine at the same time. Really, really excited today about this episode because I've learned, Joe Misfit, Glenn and I have talked about it. Me and Brian and Joe have talked about it. One of the benefits we never saw coming from doing a thing like this is we didn't realize that the people who come on and the people that we meet through this, we get to watch them do better things in their life. We usually when we get into contact, a lot of them are in a dark place, but they want to help, so they have the courage to come on, right? And they come on and they're like all of a sudden sparks of fire in them, like they've got the pilot and we've got the propane, and they just go find their mission. It gives them that boost, you know. And we never saw that coming. I didn't realize that people who came on, it would actually benefit them in ways I didn't even know, you know. And so talking with our next guest, listening to his story, what he's been through, and what he's planning to do, I knew right away that he's going to be a repeat customer coming on to Sick Call with Doc to inspire and show veterans, man, you can find your own passion, you can find your own mission. And when you do, you stay here, right? Along with some cannabis and psilocybin. So without further ado, I'd like to bring onto the show a United States Navy SeaBee, who is a SeaBee combat warfare pin. If I wasn't going to be a corpsman in the Navy, I would want to be a SeaBee. That's how cool these guys are. So please give a warm welcome to E5 SeaBee, Luke Hauf. Welcome to the show, brother. Colorado boy.
Hey, brother, how we doing?
What's happening, man? Also known as Kooky Lukey.
What's that all about? Yeah, I'll get to that here in a second. I just wanted to extend my extreme gratitude and appreciation for allowing me to come on. It means a hell of a lot.
Well, I appreciate it, brother, but you're the one that, as soon as you opened your mouth, I knew. I mean, we've had 30, 40 episodes, and I can just tell in someone's voice, this person would be awesome to come on and inspire other veterans. If you inspired me in a general conversation, I know you could inspire another veteran in a more formal conversation. You know?
I truly hope, with everything that all of us have been through, we find our own path to healing, and we try to do it the best natural, holistic way that we possibly can. I personally use cannabis. I have no shame. I have no guilt. I have absolutely no regrets. It's been a struggle, in and out of VA appointments, in and out of the nut huts. I mean, how else do I describe
That's SeaBee talk for crazy house.
Right. And that's where the kind of the kooky looky comes in. You know, as a kid, I've always been kind of done them wild and crazy things like, oh, I bet you won't do this. Okay, hold my beer, watch this, right? So that's just, I've always been that wild, crazy guy, like, oh, that can't happen, or this ain't gonna happen. Okay, watch this. So that's, and so a couple years ago, I got tired of a lot of the pills. So the VA had me on over 38 different meds at one time. I didn't know whether I was coming or going. I know there's other guys on that were on or on a lot more, that I truly hope this finds them and finds that internal strength to get away from a lot of the pharmaceuticals and to find their path, their new self, and find a way to better heal than eating all these pills from the Seroquel for the downers and then the uppers and then who knows what.
There's nothing spiritual about pills.
There's not. The
Unless,
VA
unless it's psilocybin or something like that, you know, yeah.
Correct, you know, or putting some RSO in a clear capsule to take it at night, or however you feel.
Pharmaceuticals.
Correct.
Yeah.
It's been a hell of a path. It's been a hell of a path and a hell of a journey. Growing up, you know, you see a lot of people always drinking. It's so much easier to stay drunk because it's everywhere. Restaurants, bars, gas stations. You can't even get filled up without seeing some sort of beer ad. What separates the alcohol and the cannabis from being more socially acceptable? I honestly have had my issues with alcoholism, drug addiction. April 9th will be 15 years. April 9th, 2026 will be 15 years I've been sober from alcohol.
How long?
15 years.
Wow. That's a lot of days behind you, bro.
Man, it's been a hell of a challenge.
Unfortunately, what does that pin look like?
What's that?
The 15-year pin?
I don't have it yet. It's April 9th of 2026. So.
Big old clock looking thing on your chest. It's Flavor Flav. It says 15 on it.
Right.
That's a long way. Hey, while you bring that up, Luke, a perfect time for me to just barge in and tell everybody, our listeners, all my veteran brothers and sisters, that I made a commitment to get sober. And I did for 22 days. And made poor choices, and we're getting back on the road to recovery again. I'm not going to talk about it, tell you anything this time. I would just rather come report 30, 60, 90 than to let anybody else down again. I let myself down. The first slug, I didn't even like it. It's like that tasted like shit to me. Like I didn't even like the first taste of it.
Yep.
Like Jesus, yeah. Glug, you know.
And it was funny because at one of the dual purpose programs for drug and alcohol and a PTSD unit I was in, the administrator always kept saying, oh, relapse. And I looked at him, I challenged him, and I said, why do you keep saying relapse? And, well, I mean, that's the term. I said, no, a lapse. Because if you keep saying, oh, I just relapsed, you're just setting yourself up for failure. Means
failure over and over and over.
Exactly.
I didn't fail. I did really fucking good. Problem is, I didn't finish the job.
Well, I had 22 days. You know what? There's another brother out there. I ain't gonna drop dimes. He is on at just past his 3 months. I called him up. I congratulated him. He's like, and he's crying. And he's like, brother, I mean, of all the times, why would you call me? I'm sitting here with it open and getting ready to screw up. I said, brother, don't. Do me a favor and go pour it down the drain. And we shot the shit. We talked for about an hour and a half. And he texted me a little bit later thanking me. You're the one who went and poured it down the drain. I didn't. You did it. You made that awesome, amazing choice to go pour that shit down the drain.
what I found was after I had a few that day, it didn't do anything to help me anyway. It didn't do anything to make my day better, my life better. Yeah, I love my music a little deeper, but I can do that with my cannabis. I don't need alcohol to do that, But so it didn't bring no benefit.
Right.
If it don't bring a benefit, why would you spend your time doing it? Yeah, I got it logically,
I would.
but I don't. I just fucking.
It sucks. It does. It really did, because I understand where a lot of us have been. And when I told myself almost 15 years ago, I can't be that person, because 9 times out of 10, when I woke up the next morning, I had the same issues, if not more compounded and more complex, ended up in jail cells or hospitals. I got tired of both of this shit.
Anytime I've ever been in trouble, alcohol was always on it, always in it. Every
I would,
single 100% of the time, 100%.
yep. I would much rather have brothers and sisters get baked, go to bed. What's the worst thing you're going to do to me? Raid my refrigerator? It's open. Have at it.
Right. Well, my new plan is, because it was working and I just ran out, but it was working for me. Was I got my wife some gummies. They were RSO gummies. They were 20% THC, 20% this. It was like a bunch of different CBDs. One for it was one in there for sleeping, one for general mood, and it took all the edge. I didn't even think about it, and I was more productive anyway. And so they were. So what I did was I took one the first day, one full one. In the evening, I couldn't fall asleep because I wasn't drinking.
Yep.
And boom, I was out like a light. And I woke up, I felt no hangover, felt good. So I said, what if I were to cut these in 4 little squares? Because it's a square.
Yep.
So it was 5, 5, 5, and 5 of each. And I took one of those every 4 hours, and I'm telling you, it was incredible. One, I felt just generally way better, more focus. It was awesome. And I ran out of them. And I think it was 3 days later. So I'm going to get me some more of them gummies. I'm not going to run out. And we're going to give it another shot.
It's a very good beneficial medicine. And I just cringe when I hear these high-end folks saying, "Oh, it's a gateway drug." No. Actually, yeah, you are right. It is a gateway. It's a gateway to healing. It's a gateway to your freedom. It's a gateway to getting sober from alcohol, from the opioids. I was
And
on
it
so
allows
much
you to take back control.
I was on so much morphine back in Nebraska. As soon as I got up in the morning, I was doubling up the 45, so I was getting 90. 3-4 hours later, another 90 in morphine. Another 3-4 hours later, 90. Finally, it got to the point I was just eating them like candy, and that's when I got into some other things that I'm not too proud of. But as a junkie and an alcoholic in recovery, I'm so thankful for this plant for giving me the gateway back to my life. Otherwise, I wouldn't be where I'm at. I would have no motivation except for chasing that next high.
And there wasn't a single pill from the pharmacy at the VA that was going to fucking do that for you. Not
Not
one.
one bit. Not one
They
bit.
give you an antidepressant medication where a side effect is suicidal ideations. What the fuck are you saying to me?
Right, right.
What sense does that make? What?
It the addiction I had back in Nebraska and Kansas when I lived there. Long story short, I had back surgery 2nd of May, and I was so animate to get off the Dilaudid, the fentanyl, and everything so fast that one of my check-in dates with the surgeon, he's like, "You're already back on Vicodin already. How are you doing this?" I said, "Because I know where that road leads. And I would much rather have the cannabis. I would much rather have the gummies, the edibles, than be strung out again." So besides, the back surgery, the L3, L4, Yes, I still do take Vicodin today, and that's just because of still the pain. I'm fresh still right out of it. And I know people that have had back surgery 4 or 5 years ago that are still on that high end Dilaudid, and they haven't even started to taper off. If anything, their body is so used to the Dilaudid, they built that tolerance up. Now they're wanting, the morphine or even going for the fentanyl, and it's a shame. It sucks.
I know I haven't been never was a pill person, but I've known civilians and veterans that was their thing, and boy, that grabs you hard, man. Once you've been had them for a medical reason or whatever, and then it's time to be done with them. It's like, why would I do that? I feel too good when I have these, So even Joe Misfit Glenn talked on here. He told his story: 132 pills a day.
That was nuts.
He weaned himself down with his doc, and they started weaning him down. And then he just told his boys, roll a joint. And from that day forward, his life was a complete change.
And I was watching the podcast, and you had another brother on here named Bobby. I can't remember his last name.
Bobby Liberty.
I think that was it. The one with the fentanyl patches.
Yes, he did a second show. Go ahead.
Yep. And I literally yelled at the screen when I heard him tell you guys that his shrink or pill doctor, whoever it was like, you have to admit you got a problem with it before I can do anything about it. Yeah, I got a problem with it. I'm getting too fucking much. That's my problem with it. My problem is you guys keep just handing the shit out like candy at Halloween, but you're not helping in the proper ways.
Yeah, the third time he died, after that was done with it, he came back to life for a third time. He asked his doc, what are we doing next? Same regimen.
And
there's nothing else we can do for you.
Third time's a charm. I mean, the first one should have been corrected and had slowly tapered. What really pisses me off is an individual like myself, like I've had it before, the pill doctor be like, oh, well, you're on an opioid, but this plant is still federally illegal. Fuck you. And since those two can't jive together, we're going to cold turkey you off your pills and then to get you the serious withdrawal / death symptoms, because you do. If you try and cold turkey off of opioids without a withdrawal or a taper, you feel like death. I've been in them shoes. I get it. And it's no wonder why I went to alternative drugs, because I felt like hell. I felt like shit. And if it wasn't for this plant to assist with the withdrawal symptoms, I would have went fucking crazy.
It's kind of like dog food. You know how when you switch a dog food, you got to throw in a little handful of this other stuff and blend it, and just over a month or two, you finally get it to where you're on the other side, where you're giving more of the new and less of the old for their digestive. If you're going to wean off of pharmaceuticals, Joe and I talked about it, you got to work with your doctor on that. You really should. Even Joe did, and he was a combat medic, So, and then slowly find your thing. Finding what cannabis products help you. It takes a minute. You're not going to grab one thing and go, oh, that was the miracle drug. You got to find what's right for you, that works for your endocannabinoid system and all that.
And you're correct. Whether it's a quarter of a gummy, if you're doing gummies or edibles, go slow. And for goodness sakes, please wait that hour and a half. Don't
be bold.
Don't be bold. Don't be ballsy. Don't be stupid. And eat one gummy and wait 15 minutes. Oh, this ain't doing, because each person has a different amount of time it's going to take to affect. Your system might digest it within 20-25. Mine might digest it 40-45. Just and if you do, you're on for a ride. So
yeah. You can't tell me it doesn't take a minute to figure out your thing, because I figured that out when I told somebody, when I want to stay focused, when I want to have less anxiety, I want to get more things done by doing one thing and finishing it instead of having 10 multiple projects going on, I smoke a sativa. And you're like, what? That's it. You're talking about indica stuff.
Right.
I don't care what you call it. I'm telling you, that strain, which is a sativa, did this for me. And so your indica is my sativa could be your indica. You
Right.
don't know. My cannabinoids I'm low on this, this, and this. Yours may be something different. And so you said the gateway to freedom, Luke. That
Absolutely.
it's a gateway to the fridge and freedom.
Yep, absolutely.
Yeah.
It is the gateway to freedom. I mean, where else could you find a plant that has been banned worldwide, but the U.S. used to be able to grow hemp, which is obviously two different plants, and then turn around and ban it and then try to take the ground from farmers, which is bullshit.
Well, the thing we were talking about earlier, but we didn't touch on this piece, was in the late 1800s, mid 1800s, through the 1800s, and into the early 1900s. Once the car came out and the thing was getting moving along with the Industrial Revolution, you could get hemp and CBD stuff in vials, drips, and things like that. They call it snake medicine, or what they used to call it snake oil. But people swore by it. It worked for them. Farmers were making oil for their machines and heating their homes from the hemp.
Yep.
So they were getting a benefit by growing this plant and working their farm with it. Other people were finding good effects from that kind of stuff. So who got involved? Big oil, big pharma. Can't do that. We're going to push these pills instead.
Yep.
And we need gasoline for these fucking cars that Ford's building, not your hemp juice. We need oil. So guess what? Weed's bad for you. Don't do it. Here's your brain on drugs. And made it like freaking heroin. Are you out of your mind?
Right.
And so
it just blows me away of why hasn't this plant been more widely grown, for simple fact of building materials. There's multiple uses for this plant. Medication, salves, oils, building materials, rope, clothes. I mean, this plant is the widest diversity. I don't see a whole lot of people wearing pine shirts. I mean, it's such a fast growing plant. It produces more oxygen. It's a more yield for certain products than it is going down cutting trees. I ain't a huge hippie. I cut trees down for firewood, stuff like that. So don't get me wrong. It's just the right place for the right time for certain products.
Right. But for them they took control because of the money. And the rest of society went, okay, must be true. What? Shouldn't somebody have said, wait a minute, that's a plant that was here way before any of us humans.
Yep.
So that must have come from a spiritual higher being.
Which would be in Genesis 1, 11, and 12, where he deemed that all plants were good. And which, here's another controversial topic, we take this plant in its natural form and consume it for medication, as where alcohol is transformed from grain. It's not, or it's altered. Alcohol is
lots of use makes you be on pills.
Right. Just like pills. They're altering so much to create a new miracle drug. I'd rather use this gateway medication any day of the week.
Yeah. If you don't think pharmaceuticals is a scam, hold up a local grocery store, local company's ibuprofen, and pick up a bottle of Motrin and turn them around.
Yep.
One ingredient, exactly the same mills, everything.
Yep.
$10, $2.
It's wild.
If you don't think it's a game and that and then you're not allowed to play in it, you're wrong. So let's back up just a bit. You didn't get to be in a SeaBee without living, and you didn't get to hear without living between SeaBee and here. So tell us a little bit about you that would resonate with our fellow veterans, and hopefully we grab them by the shirt like this.
Well, and I grew up northeast Nebraska, just a small community farm town where if you didn't drink with the locals on Friday, Saturday night, you really weren't somebody. It was kind of shitty upbringing. I can't blame mom. She did the best she could. My sperm donor, he's abusive, narcissistic, just a piece of shit. So I really had no father figure. And then my mom she had dated a few guys here and there, and we obviously didn't see eye to eye, especially how they treated her. And mom always told me treat a woman like a woman. So when I seen my role model being treated like a punching bag, I didn't take that too well.
Were you a young guy then?
Yeah, I was young. I was 12 to 14, something like that. And maybe I was younger, 10 to 12, because I think my mom got married to the stepdad, which was a Marine. It was pretty rough for a while. I couldn't really understand his side of things until I actually deployed in 2003. And long story short, I was getting to the point, went in, did a year at college, and there was really nothing in that area for me. I got a welding degree, got my certifications. So I went and joined the Navy as a SeaBee, and I went over and told mom, hey, I signed up to be a SeaBee, and she instantly started crying. And this was after 9/11. And I'm like, kind of like, what's going on? Well, I didn't know until then that my uncle Art was SeaBee.
No way.
Yeah.
Her brother? Her brother?
Her brother was a SeaBee. Never knew. Had no idea. She never talked about him. And so I went in, went to Great Mistakes, Illinois in June 02. Then went to Port Who Needs Me out CMA school out in California. And then went to Gulf Puke, Mississippi for my battalion, NMCB 133. Got deployed 3 times. Really don't want to talk about a whole lot of that.
We've heard it. We've heard a lot.
Yeah. I really didn't know how bad it was until got back the 05-06 deployment after we were in Fallujah. Just wow.
It changes a human being.
It does. And
the whole DNA is different, make different thing altogether.
December of 06, we lost mom. Just a chain of events just unfolded all at me at once. And of course, drinking, it's socially acceptable. It's okay. You can go get shithouse on base or shithouse anywhere, but by God, you can't smoke a joint, go to bed, and try to help with pain and slow your mind down with the PTSD and everything else. But so finally I got medically retired in 08, and that was a shit show.
Let me ask you, did you ever use cannabis prior to joining the military? Unless you can't say that out loud, but
I'll let you figure that one out.
All right. Okay. And so, but not while you're in, or?
So while I was in, luckily I jumped a couple piss tests that would have nailed me, because I was hitting some of it while I was in, because while I was in, I would try to go see some of the shrinks and stuff, but they were wanting to throw me on, 800 milligrams of Seroquel to wind me down. And by the time you got done drooling, trying to put your clothes on in the morning, you couldn't.
Yeah.
So luckily I ducked a couple piss tests, and I was one of the few that didn't get caught using it. But I was so tired of using their horse tranquilizers, and I needed to find a different way because you cannot function with that much Seroquel in your system. I don't care who
And
you are.
alcohol has such a deteriorating effect on you. You wake up with a hangover, you can't get your job done, your head's throbbing, and you know what I mean? Like, so
Yep.
that's no help. You don't get that with weed, but you get that with alcohol.
Right. And so before I got out, they said, well, go to the VA, get checked in. And Biloxi, Mississippi VA has to be the absolute shithole VA I have ever went to. I had went over there. I had all my discharge papers and everything. And then I ended up homeless. I lost the house. There was no transition. There was no assistance. I spoke to the county veteran service officer down there, piece of shit.
So you owned your own place when you got out?
Lost it due to foreclosure because I just didn't have the funds.
Couldn't work.
No, I couldn't. And then about 18, 24 months later, I literally bounced around the East Coast trying to find work, trying to get assistance. But at that time, veterans just wasn't on the high priority list to get hired and helped. And went to Pennsylvania on the way back. I called my stepdad, said, hey, I need a place to stay. I'm homeless. So I drove from Pennsylvania. I got to about Council Bluffs, Iowa, going back to Nebraska. And he calls me as soon as I'm crossing that bridge into Nebraska. And he says, hey, I got to thinking, and you just can't come and stay here. So I feel
like you had the gas money to go back the other way at that point. I mean, like,
so at that point, I didn't have no elsewhere to turn. I didn't know. So that morning,
were they afraid to have to handle a drunk guy, or they afraid they wouldn't connect with you mentally and it wouldn't work? I mean, what was their?
I have no idea what his.
Still to this day.
Still don't know.
I'm sorry to hear that, bro.
It is what it is. It made me who I am.
Well, you knew there was no fucking safety net. That's what you figure out when you get out. If you're not getting Social Security or VA benefits right away or nothing like that.
Nothing. I literally had $126 in my pocket. That is all I had in my name. I was living in my truck. I literally went and sat on Lincoln, Nebraska's VA steps and was getting ready to say the hell with it. I had no else where to turn. Nothing. That was it. And what Biloxi VA failed to do in 24 months, Lincoln, Nebraska VA did in 28 days. It was fucking mind-blowing.
The Lincoln, Nebraska VA did you right?
In 28 days.
Well, shout out to them.
Yep. And I can't thank them folks enough. Grand Island, Nebraska VA, absolutely amazing. Denver, I wouldn't even. Yeah.
We've got one in Detroit. We got one in Ann Arbor. And Ann Arbor is the U of M, University of Michigan. So their hospital's there, and then the VA's right next door. Well, lots of money goes side to side there, and it's a hell of a VA right there. And they treat me like a king, I got to be honest. I don't ask for much. I don't need much.
Right.
But when I need them, they're there,
Grand Island.
They're awesome.
Yeah, Grand Island, Nebraska, when I was living back in Nebraska, them folks there, solid folks in Grand Island.
Yeah. There was a VA hospital type long-term care place outside of Great Lakes Base. Because that's where the corpsmen go to school. You go to Boonton, Great Lakes, and the corpsman school used to be there on the drop side. But your students would have to go over to the VA their last 2 weeks of school for clinical.
Okay.
And get assigned to certain units, surgery, this, that, or the other. It was a shithole, and our veterans, old generals, like humped over and wheeled. I mean, like, treated like cattle, bro. Undermanned, underpaid, underpassionate. And our corpsmen would go in there with the pride of being going to be a new corpsman. They're fired up to do patient care. And they're seeing the worst of patient care they could possibly freaking see. And I had to close a blind eye to that.
That's completely unfair.
I say that's how sometimes it happens. But I'm telling you, this is the way you do it for your patient. This is how you
Right.
take care of your patient. So I had to battle that as an instructor, but I've seen the worst of it, man. I mean, like cattle,
Yeah.
horrible.
It's amazing how some facilities are like five. I can't even say 5-star, 10-star, and there's some facilities I can't even scribble in that corner of a star on some facilities.
Right.
And through life, the drinking, the drugs and everything, I'd moved around from Nebraska then to Kansas, and then getting my stuff put together. A couple things happened in Kansas. I needed to leave. That's a different
Doing
topic.
SeaBee shit, were you?
Long story short, the neighbors' dogs got a hold of mine, and I took care of it, even though this was like the 5th, 6th time. And I tried to go about it the most decent way by informing certain law enforcement, hey, they need to put their shit up. They need to take care of their dogs. They don't watch them. Anyway, somewhere on the phone, I still got the video of the neighbor's dogs literally eating their goat alive, and the law enforcement didn't do anything about it.
You didn't go over there and shoot that dog, did you?
Not the one that was eating the goat, but the four that came over and was trying to kill my dog. That's where I'm gonna leave it.
It wasn't their best day.
No, it was definitely not their best day. Actually, that's kind of a 50-50 because how them poor dogs were treated. I think I did them a favor, but so I was working with a veteran equine group that lost a 501(c) due to traction stuff out here in Colorado. So I was driving to Kansas and Colorado. After that deal had went down in Kansas, I called them up and I said, hey, the neighbors are trying to retaliate. And they're like, oh my God. So they came back, got me. We moved out here. Same with some folks, and sold my place back in Kansas, bought the 5 acres up here, and doing the opposite thing. And in a way, I'm glad I did it when I did versus when I was drinking and doing all the drugs, because I think I would have just lost the motivation to do it. But I absolutely love it up here. It's very peaceful. It's quiet. It's
the thing we notice is not only do you lose your mission when you get out, that mission philosophy, you don't even know where to turn first,
right.
Then the alcohol and the drugs push that any chance of you finding your own mission, it pushes it down below it. So that's sitting on top. And you can't really get that mission back to the surface until you find a better way.
Right. And with the drinking and the drugs, your priority on the drinking and then going out and finding that other drug that makes you feel so good is like your top priority. I mean, I've been there. I understand where coke or meth or whatever, that was my top priority for such a long time. There was nothing else that mattered. And
it was something that made you feel good.
Right. For instance, you and me and whoever else, we can go out on Friday night, have a line quick. My mind's going to say, hey, let's go get some more of that good shit that we had Friday night. Yeah.
Right.
And while you guys are going about your business, no, my body's like, hey, let's go.
Yeah, cocaine, one is too many and one is never enough.
Right.
Yeah.
And so my priority has kind of shifted. We got settled in here. We got things doing the off-grid thing, haul a lot of water. We got a small solar setup, but I wanted to do something more for the brother and sisterhood to assist and help. So instead of going to the dispo buying all the time, I can't stand the salty. I can't stand the chemical bullshit that they put out. I just can't stand it. So started growing again. And with the harvest, I donate X amount to Afghan veterans, Iraq, OEF, OIF, Vietnam veterans. I'd rather give it away than them eat more pharmaceuticals drink more beer. I would rather have them use this gateway drug, loose term, to benefit themselves and to try to get them on a better path and open this gateway up back to themselves. Open that gateway to their freedom. From giving out grow your own kits to certain guys up here that can, to growing for veterans that can't, whether due to living limitations or living
Physical,
situations,
yeah, ADLs and
physical disabilities. I would much rather do that than see them eat that fucking handful of pills or have that tackle box of pills sitting up there or double or triple dosing.
yeah. Well, I'll tell you what, Luke, this is a perfect time to take a minute, take a breather, because you've got a whole forward mission with lots of steps in it that I think our fellow brothers, sisters, our listeners need to hear. How far you've come and where you think you're going to take this and helping your brothers and sisters and yourself in this life. So we're going to get to that right after the break. I wanted to let everybody know, if you look during the commercials, I think there's a QR code for our YouTube channel. Hey, please go to the YouTube, scan that thing, go there. If you could do us a favor, hit the buttons for us, the like, shares, follows, whatever they got, you got to hit. It's going to help us do more of this. So totally appreciate it. Let's take a break real quick, Brian. Thanks.
I got a minute to go take a piss?
Yes, sir.
Okay, I just didn't know if we were still recording.
Join us for Hero Stock, a special event dedicated to honoring our veterans and first responders. Experience a day filled with incredible live music performed by those who served and protected our communities. Connect with our nonprofits dedicated to helping our heroes thrive. Discover the services available to support our veterans and first responders in their journey. Bring the whole family. Kids will love the fun activities designed just for them. Reconnect with your community and celebrate the courage and sacrifice of our heroes at Hero Stock. Join us for a day of music, support, and togetherness. Check us out today on www.herostock.org. American made, better known, we are Doc Goodbeard. It's more than just looking good. When it comes to your beard, we believe you can have it all. Thoughtfully designed, unique fragrances, and affordable prices. We strive to provide a line of uniquely scented balms and oils that you won't find in other products. Come on, rock with Doc, and remember, it's all about the beard, man. So what do you say? Let's take that average beard and make it badass. Go to docbeard.com.
Hey y'all, Hot Rod Wally here. Finally, a revolutionary nutrient line that puts the needs of you and your plants first. Easy to use, forgiving, tweakable, versatile, and clean. Utopic Essential Nutrients blends only the most refined raw materials, the perfect blend of plant hormones derived from kelp, along with silica and humates, makes Utopic a powerhouse plant food. From commercial industrial growers down to our beloved hobbyists. Come discover our truth at www.utopicessentialnutrients.com. Come get them. And we're back with Luke Hauf, United States Navy SeaBee. I think if I was going to be a SeaBee, I would want to be one of two things I was thinking about on the break. I think I would want to be a builder, like a carpenter framer guy, or a plumber like my dad. Would that be a good choice for someone to do? Or what was the best piece of being a SeaBee? Was it which job skill or that you had to do was the best?
As a construction mechanic, if hopping on some of the convoys and in 0506, they put me in charge of the wrecker, and some of the devil dogs may or may not be missing a few Humvees. Yeah.
It wasn't me,
So,
sir, I swear.
what's that?
It wasn't me, sir, I swear.
I don't know what you're talking about. So, and that's one of the very few times I've ever mentioned it.
Right
So
on.
as a SeaBee, I absolutely loved it. I love the brotherhood. Alpha Company, Alpha Dog is what we kind of went by, and people wanted to jack around with us. Okay, well, sorry, that vehicle's taken for the day. You're not taking it. So don't fuck around with your Alpha Company.
Right on. I gotta help you make another connection. I know you made a connection with Joe Misfit Glenn.
Yep.
David Zuckerman, fellow SeaBee, a little younger than you.
I'd like
So
I'd like to link up with him. I really would. I really wish we can link up and just shoot the shit. And
getting solid brotherhood back in your life. The camaraderie is what we all miss, And that's why I'm thankful for being a corpsman, because I can relate to everybody.
right,
Because everybody came to see me when they were needing something. You know what I mean?
yeah, and that you bring up the community and the camaraderie. I've always been kind of an outcast. I've always been kind of a loner, kind of do my own thing. And it wasn't until this year, I've kind of found I don't know, my group, my community, and that would be the cannabis community. Yes, I do some microdosing. I haven't grown really any shrooms yet. Like you said, you grab a bag of shrooms and do some microdosing. And that's
They're doing great for PTSD, man. I hear about it all the time.
Absolutely.
100%.
And I just don't see where these people get the mentality or ideology that, oh, shrooms are bad. Oh, cannabis is bad. Oh, have you not tried them? And maybe if you did try them, you had such an adverse reaction because you weren't wise about usage.
Why don't you just start with the fungus that doesn't get you mentally high, but helps you with your aches and pains?
Yep.
Torn ligaments that never really got right again. I got them.
Absolutely.
Whatever it might be, and or change your uplifting. You're always being an asshole old man. You might just have a little kindness for a minute.
Right.
What's the worst that could happen when you're microdosing? Nothing. I hear you, brother.
The communities, like there's communities on Discord, there's communities on Facebook, there's communities on like YouTube, like right here, right now. Would love to do a big shout out and a huge thank you to Joe's Grows, Harvest Heroes. I was so nervous because I know how certain people look at cannabis, and finally I threw myself out there and got a hold of them, and the community is so helpful. It brings folks together. It's
for the biggest most part, yes.
Yes, it brings a lot of people together, and the community, on Discord. I'm in a grow off on Discord as well with a buddy's creation of his genetics. And it's absolutely amazing. It brings people together. There's so much knowledge, so much help. There's not a lot of, there's kind of some shit talking, of course, but I
would hope so.
Right. But for the most part, it has helped me crack open some more of my shell, because there for so long I've had this fortress built around me that I didn't want anybody to come in. I didn't like anybody to come in. I didn't want nobody to come in my circle because of past trauma, past experiences with life, the anxiety. However, through this community, building the brotherhood, and next year through the community and other brothers and sisters, I am going to try and pull this off and utilize veteran genetics to do a strictly part of my grow as all veteran genetics. And I cannot wait. I have a few on board already, looking for a few more.
Yeah, anybody out there that does their own genetics and you're a veteran, get with us.
I would love to. I would love to. Not only that, the next year we are trying to get more veterans together to do a giant veteran grow off with Joe's Grows. We're kind of collabing. We're trying to get things lined up, worked out, and do an all veteran grow off. And if you are interested, please look us up. We will.
We got to help you find a veteran soil company. You said you were looking for veteran nutrient companies. You got that, and I don't know of any others. If there are, great.
Yeah.
But what you do need is a soil company. I think I know a veteran soil company.
I would love to link up with a veteran soil company, because right now I'm running almost 3-year-old soil, tailoring it with some of the homegrown chicken manure here, along with adding some of the nature soil,
Doing
natural
a soil voodoo thing, huh?
Right. I mean, I love doing it. It gives, growing this plant along with utilizing it assists me so much. It's therapeutic for gardening. Sometimes it's very frustrating trying to read the girls and exactly what they want. It's so beneficial from seed to smoke. I can't recommend it enough. From gardening to, and sometimes
I know very little growers who don't say that.
Yep.
And I found that out through doing this podcast it really hit home with me just more recently because of doing the podcast. Weed for me was always like grow it and make a little money and have your stuff. It was never really about the love of the plant. And so this year's outdoor, man, it grabbed me this time. And it's like, okay, now I get what you guys are saying. It's like,
and it's as far as selling it on my end, I don't sell it. I don't want to get caught up in the BS. I don't want to
donations to help pay the,
It would be nice, but it's not. The donations would help. I ain't gonna lie, because doing this on the VA pension alone, it just isn't enough. So, I try to utilize what I can, such as there's some farmers that have cattle. So this year we were using the cattle mineral lick tubs for pots, and then there's a tree farm that I was getting some of their starter pots from, which you can also use solo cups. There's so many tricks. Pretty much trying to use a bare minimum budget to grow good cannabis. And from what I've tested this year, I'm pretty dang happy.
Well, yeah, because you have to change your research that you're doing if you want to go the least amount of money to do it. And that is to learn about the sun, learn about soils, learn about what goes in soils. You ain't got to learn about liquid newts or dried. You need to know about, what natural things can you put in your pot to give it the nutrients that plant needs to grow to its full genetic potential,
Absolutely.
So your focus of your research goes a different direction than others.
It does. I mean, I'm not one of them guys that I could really go out and afford to spend X amount on this nutrient or that nutrient.
I hear you.
I had to pretty much this last year, okay, I've got how many pounds of chicken manure, turn that into a tease, break the tease down and go from there. And then adding, what can I add to that soil, like you were saying, to assist in the growth and the development and the transition from veg to flower, what to add, what not to add.
Yeah.
And with the hillbilly grow off this year, it was strictly pretty much manure. I mean, so the plants.
When you say hillbilly grow off, it makes me think these dudes out from, in the hills growing like 40-foot Jack and the Beanstalk plants outdoors. And I really fucking.
I'm gonna tell you
Your
on the
total weight was 741 pounds off that plant. You won.
I'm telling you on the Joe's Grow YouTube thing, it's called the Hillbilly. I can't say the other word. It's like, just look him up. It's pretty cool. And
Look up Joe's Grows and then do some searching.
yeah, there's a guy in Spring Fever Rebels that's grown out of a boat. He's got three monsters in that thing. Just huge. I mean, we got guys growing out of a pair of jeans. We have just thank Hillbilly, man. And it fit the ticket.
All of that.
Oh man, it did. It fit the ticket. I'm thinking, you know what? I jumped in the Backwoods Bootleggers category because I couldn't jump in the Spring Fever Rebels category due to the back surgery in May. So that's the category I fell in. A lot of amazing growers. I mean, just down home country folk that are just having a good time.
Yeah. Let me ask you this question, Brian. If you want to type your answer or come on, it's up to you. I want to ask our listeners, please type in your answers when you see this on YouTube or on our Facebook page. Here's a question for all of you. Yes, cannabis, THC, CBD stuff. Yes, psilocybin is helping. It's all over. Ann Arbor's doing the U of M hospital is doing a massive CBD study of PTSD with our veterans because the hospitals are right next to each other. So University of Ann Arbor, University of Michigan is doing a massive CBD thing to study CBD in veterans. So there's lots of, you mentioned equestrian therapy with the horses, man, taking care of a horse, taking care of a plant, taking care of a service dog. I think there's an orphanage you can pick up a kid, take care of or whatever. No, I'm kidding, joke. But let me ask this question. Don't you think just as much as important as those things are helping change lives for veterans and for American patriots, don't you think having that connection to something cooler and bigger than you, that camaraderie piece, that must be thought about when it comes to the transition out, losing that and then having and be sure to find that mission. If there's anybody listening right now who's in a dark place, and it's the first time you're seeing this show, or you haven't talked to many vets since you've been out, you've been isolating like we all do, you have to find a passion. You have to find something bigger than yourself because that's what we know. We've known it since we were 18, 17, 19 years old. But now it's time for you to go find your own. So the question is, do you think that has equal peace? Finding that camaraderie again, finding something bigger than you that you believe in, keeps you here. People who are doing things that make them proud of themselves and happy, I think are less likely to leave. So do you think that piece is as much as important as everything else or more important? Put your answers in, type it all in for us, and we'll see you in a few weeks to find the answers. But what do you think, Luke?
I think finding that new motivation to keep going forward is a very pivotal step to take. Because like you had mentioned before, losing that camaraderie when you get out. When I got out, I had nowhere to turn. I didn't know which way was up. I didn't know which way was down. I was strung out on meds. I didn't know. It took me quite a long time to figure out exactly which community I quote unquote fit in, and the canna community where we can grow next to each other with like-minded individuals to accomplish similar or same objectives is very important because we're already battling state law, federal agencies that don't even want this plant. But this plant has helped so many people.
I wish that Sick Call with Doc was like a mandatory thing for everybody getting out. You have to watch 2 episodes as part of your in-doc to leave, your checkout procedure. Got to watch at least 1 episode of Sick Call with Doc. and they would hear something like this that might help them 10 years down the road when after they've forgotten about it, that they might call and pull back from and stick around with us. And
Whether, maybe you like to play music, I mean, I'm not saying cannabis is the only thing that assists heal.
it's a
Equine
piece.
therapy, veterans, or Project Healing Waters. I got a lot of stuff stolen back in Kansas, and they hooked me up to get back on the water, fly fishing gear. I mean, very solid folks. There's
A lot of vets are fishermen.
Guitars for Vets, I think, is another one. A brother, I had sent him, and they hooked him up with a guitar. And the dude is going on now. He's actually going out on Friday nights where he would usually stay home. So isolated. Now that he's playing music and writing his own lyrics, getting out and doing it. Canna may not be your thing, but guess what? Something inside of you will direct you to find what you will connect with others with.
You have to believe that, though, and go after it. It doesn't always fall in your lap. It rarely falls in your lap.
Right. And for so long, I've isolated to the point where there's some folks that's still in town that call me Sasquatch because they have no idea I even exist.
Right on.
And with doing this veteran, grow your own kits and veteran, with the veteran community, it helps me out so much because it makes me leave here. It makes me go out and talk to folks. It makes me get on and do a podcast with you guys. It helps so much.
You never know what you're gonna find, bro.
Exactly, man. I mean, it was when you told me to hop on a podcast, I was so excited. But then when we hung up that other day, I was shaking like a dog. You know what? In razor blades. You know what I'm saying?
Just a ton of shit rain come pouring down on you.
I'm like, man, what did I just get myself into?
It's just a conversation, brother. It's all it is, man. That's why I love it. It's just like a regular phone call to me once we get going, Right. It's pretty cool. I think it's mandatory to be a part of a veteran's healing, the spiritual inside healing, knowing that there's people out here that were maybe they weren't there in the foxhole with them.
Right.
But get it, and to learn from those who have found these things to help. Bobby, you mentioned Bobby Liberty. Wasn't it you that mentioned Bobby Liberty?
Yep.
He went forever, man, being alone, isolated. Joe was 15 years on the pills from the VA, being a good soldier, doing what he was told.
Yep.
Never touched cannabis ever. So that's proof. Yep. Cannabis is only one piece of this. And it may not be your piece.
Right.
But it's a piece. Yeah. So you've got, in the beginning of the show, I mentioned that I know for a fact we're going to be watching your journey.
Yep.
I
really do. I plan on being a lot more active and kind of throwing myself a little further out there. This is just kind of putting my toes in the water and seeing how this develops, and really want to help and promote veteran brotherhood and sisterhood heal. Whether you're growing, I don't care if you're growing zucchini, squash, marigolds, I do not care. I want you to heal and what's best for you.
Right. I truly believe that every veteran, even the dirtbags we talk about when we're in it,
right.
They still deserve respect and dignity.
Absolutely.
We don't always get that from our civilian pop or the government. In fact, the government fucking shits on us worse than anybody, man.
Yeah, you're right.
I'm 100% disabled. Yeah, but there's a lot of shit that they don't do for you still. Right. I had a call yesterday from a guy who was on our show, and he's like, "How do you get a petition into Washington, bro?" I go, "What?" He goes, "I'm so fired up being on the show. We need dental." I go, "I know." He's like, "How do we get to the director of the VA, that the Republican guy, the new guy Trump put in office?" Yep. I forget his name, but I go, "I don't know if you." So we're gonna take a look at it, see if we can't get up there and say, "Hey guys, our teeth are falling out. Right. Can you help a guy out? Can kind of hard to get a date looking like this, you know. But no, you were. I don't know if you want to talk about specifically what you were telling us about. You want to do with the big.
Okay. So
I mean, unless you don't want to tip your hat yet.
no, man. It's one of my dreams to assist and fight homeless veteran, the homeless issue with
Fight
veterans.
for them, absolutely.
Right, absolutely. Ideally, at the end of the day, I don't have the pocketbook for it. However, I hope whoever is watching this has the deep pockets to do this. I would love for somebody with the big deep pockets to get an old mall or abandoned building that's big enough to be able to build apartments in, have a dispensary grow in it, bring back the arcade, bring back some of the shops inside. Within doing this, house homeless veterans, because the first three things they want on a job application is name, address, and phone number, which two, possibly more than likely one, if not two, they don't have. They don't have an address. They're fucking homeless. How are you gonna
Yeah, or the address was 3 apartments ago. You know, kind
exactly. So
yeah.
if we could find a way to bring them homeless brothers and sisters in and utilize this shopping mall / canna grow dispensary area as a transition center with a coffee shop, so they can attend their VA appointments with their doctors in private little rooms in a coffee shop, as well as house them so they have an address, so they have a way for a phone. And at the end of the day, when I was homeless, when I was scuzzier and shit, when I hadn't had a shower for 20, 24 days, who's going to hire an individual like that? Nobody. So by utilizing the dispo side of it to generate some of the funds to assist to offset the cost of housing homeless veterans, not only that, but employing them as well, would help immensely with the homeless population.
You could get a generator company to donate a generator. You can get solar people in there that would donate the solar power to do your vegetable gardens and your cannabis gardens, and help have office spaces for therapists to come in and help them. Barber shop to get a haircut, a fucking shower.
I would love. I mean, that I already told my better half. If we ever won the lottery, that's it. I'll still live up here doing what I'm doing. I'm not living high on the hog at 14 by 16 cabin.
That's what I lived in when I lived there, man. It's a little thing, dude.
Yep. And yeah. I would if I had the money. There's a couple of like Staples closed down in town. Another building closed down. The first thing I did when I walked into that Staples closing was like, well, hell, we can put two stories of apartments here, have the grow over here.
All you need is 2 things: somebody with the money and a way to communicate your vision.
Yep.
And the way you do that is reach people. You can't sit at home and you're 14 by 16, bro. You got to get on this damn internet thing or get local, get out there in town.
You know how many people have actually ran this idea by, and they said, one of them, they said, you're freaking crazy. And I said, well, they don't call me Kooky Lookie for no reason. And the other one was like, hey, that's a hell of an idea. Now, what about financing? That's the problem, is banks won't finance anything related with cannabis.
Well, you can at least do hemp and do the CBD side of things.
Right.
And help your veterans with that piece of it.
Right.
Teaching them how to grow, giving them the plant therapy, vegetable gardens, making their own food, eating their own organic food.
Yep.
Helping get their teeth fixed, get them. And look, if there's veterans out there that are on the streets, and they're extremely schizophrenic and the bipolar, and they're, for lack of better words, out of their mind. There's a different place. There should be a different place for them to get them to where they can get to you.
Right.
Right.
Yep.
There's different levels of us.
Right. I truly feel that. No
Yeah.
matter what stage you're at, I do feel that there should be some sort of help to get back on the feet. I really do.
Well, here's what happened. They were ghosted by their government.
Yep.
And
And I feel
they were ghosted, dude.
you were talking about the teeth deal, at that 90 to 100%, once you get your 100%, now you got mental, dental, vision, all that covered. I feel once again, the system's screwing all of the brothers and sisters where dental vision, and I think mental or whatever it is, should be incorporated at a lower percentage instead of, you have to be 100% to get dental and vision. That's bullshit.
Well, here's what's bullshit about it, brother. We spend as a country so much money on so much other shit, dude.
Right.
Like, how about give it to the single moms too? We don't need it all.
Right.
Spread all that money out to the people that are doing good things and trying to. Yeah, you said that you're willing to send us, but you're not willing to mend us.
Right. And you
fucking did this to us, and now you're like, fucking, here's a little bit. Fight for your rights. Fight. We fought for you, and now you gotta fight you.
Yeah. And then we gotta fight for what we fought for in the first place. And somebody had said, well, when you get home, the fight's over. No, it's not, because we're fighting the VA. We're fighting certain state and local level agencies to get what we had fought for, what we signed up for.
I know this is an exaggeration, but I've seen things kind of like this. Oh, so you're got a bad elbow, huh? Yeah. When I was in the service, I had to do this a lot. And now when I do that, I can't do it anymore. It's locked. I can't even do it anymore. Oh, well, that's not service connected. Have a good day. Yep. Wait a minute. I did it a million times when I was, I know it sounds foolish, but I mean, like that, it's kind of like that. How could you say it was obvious that thing was service connected? Any idiot could figure that out. And the VA automatic, boom, denial, get a lawyer, do it.
And then you got to get buddy letters. My better half, she knows a guy up in Montana, and he's just going in now for comp and pen exams, and they had drug him through the mud. Oh, we can't find your records. They were on some fire. Bullshit. So he had jumped through all these hoops to get buddy letters. Now he's got this stack of buddy letters. He's fixing to hand them. And I need to call him back as soon as we get off here and make sure he's got extra copies of the bullshit.
Well, I'm going to give you a challenge, bro. And you'll have to come back on and tell us how you're doing if you would commit. I've heard this dream from well more than just you. A safe haven for homeless vets, safe haven for even the ones that weren't homeless, but struggling at home with their wife, struggling at home with their parents or whatever. And give them the whole array of things they would possibly need in one spot. And then get them, once they're on their feet, got their car, got their job, got the car, got some money saved, help them get an affordable apartment or a house near work, get them involved in other veteran organizations, and get them back going, man. So I've heard this a bunch of times from a lot of vets, and I think it's all well intent. Who the fuck's going to do it first? You?
Right. And I've even talked to my better half. We ideally wanted to build small cabin, like a small house community, just a little 4 or 5 small cabin community. Hell, I've been doing this for 4 or 5-ish years now. The tiny cabin living.
Yeah, you gotta vet them, make sure that they don't. You gotta make sure they don't bring guns in. There's all the legality things to that.
There's a lot of
the county don't want you there. The township don't want you there, kind of thing. And
That's it right there. Is the VSO in the town kind of closest to us. He had spoke with a couple of board members and said, well, hey, we have a couple of veterans that are homeless. Is there some way we can up our budget or a grant to get these guys a place to stay, to get on their feet, get them a job till they can get their own apartment? And the one board member said, and I was there, the board member looked at him and said, well, they won't fucking be here during the winter, will they? That's the kind of shit from county to county, county to state, state to federal that we're fighting. And this son of a bitch that said it is supposedly an Air Force veteran.
Yeah. They all want to preach how much they care about vets on Memorial Day and Veterans Day and all that shit. But when a veteran's trying to do something for their own brothers and sisters, they're the first ones to stop them.
Yep. And that's exactly what happened. Within 4 to 7 business days, I walked over with that veteran service officer and watched him hand the papers to him so he wouldn't do anything stupid. And I was every bit as enraged as he was.
Well,
yeah.
We say it all the time when it comes to veterans getting help and veterans helping veterans. If not us, who?
Yep.
And if not now, when?
Exactly.
You know, I went to I finally, after years and years of saying I was going to do it, went down to the VFW down here and became a member. I became an auxiliary member because I didn't serve in foreign war. So I was hanging out with all the daughters and chicks. I wasn't even considered in the veteran group, you know. And there wasn't a single Iraq, Afghanistan veteran there, and that's why I joined, was to find them and say, hey, we're out here thinking about you. We're the old vets, man. We know you're struggling. And there was none there to help.
Yeah.
That's kind of how Sick Color Doc got all kind of started a little bit too. So I just think that if you find something that you're passionate about and you find others within the community of veterans that either does that, wants to help you with it, or that builds a team, it builds camaraderie, it makes you feel like there's a reason to be here.
Yep.
I think when we get to that point where we don't feel there's any reason anymore to be here, like you're of no use to nobody, no one has any use for you, is where your head's at.
Right.
The pills are fucking making you think that, weighing you down. Of course, there's 145,000 dead suicide veterans. Of course there is. I mean, what else would there be? Roll out the same circumstances, it would happen to anybody. It would not even, it doesn't be vets.
And being so close to there 3 different times, the second time,
I'm so glad you did, bro.
The second time, I look at me. I tried it 3 times and I'm still fucking here. I fucked up. I can't.
Yeah, quit. I told this one, quit trying to commit suicide. You suck at it.
That's it, man. That's it.
It must be a reason to be here. I mean, come on.
And I challenge those who are in that dark place to reach out to somebody, because we care. I had kicked around the idea a couple years ago before I'd met my better half. And when I told some of the close folks, the mountain family up here that I have, that I was thinking about it, it hurt so damn bad to see their reactions to what, because we can put a hell of a good game face on. Oh yeah, everything's fine, blah, blah, blah. But deep down, we're so fucking hurt, the pain.
And we'd give anything for the help.
And when I had told them folks that I was considering it, the pain that I seen them express hurt me more because of how they felt. Like, why would I want to hurt them by doing that?
It's gotta be the most loneliest feeling in the world.
It sucks.
Like worse than lonely. I don't even know a word for it, bro.
There is no word for it. And
Yes.
being a person that has been there, reach out. I don't care if it's to a stranger, the 988 number, option 1, I think it is. I've called it. That fucking number saved me.
And I say this because, you know, the old excuse, I don't want to reach out because I don't want to get, you know, my balls busted for being a pussy, you know, whatever.
No.
Reach out to the next one. If somebody treats you that way, when you reach out, there's so few of those assholes. Go to the next one. Go to the next one. Go until one goes, hey, bro, yeah, let's talk. Yeah. And that's the one you're looking for. Don't quit if someone treats you like shit because you reached out. Don't take that personal. They're an idiot. Go to the next one.
It's kind of like the veteran 10 foot down in a hole, and a lady walks by. Hey, what are you doing down there? That's the hole that we're in. Tries to explain, the lady doesn't understand. Attorney walks by, tries to explain the situation. Finally, another veteran walks by the hole, explains to him. The other veteran jumps in the hole. The guy that's already in the bottom of the hole looks at him like, "What the fuck are you doing?" He's like, "The reason
now we're both screwed."
Well, the other veteran jumps in the hole, and the veteran that's already in there is like, "What the fuck are you doing in here? Now we're both trapped." He's like, "No, I know how to get us out of this hole. Let's go."
He came down here to get you.
That's it.
I see that with every guest that comes out, bro. It's amazing. It's amazing to me, but it makes total sense. Is when a veteran finds that way, the first thing they want to do is go back and grab.
Yep.
Oh fuck! I found it, man. Oh, you know, I think it's awesome. Well, I don't know if we can end it on any better note than reach. We say it every time. Reach out. Don't be afraid to do that. It's not a weakness, man. Weakness is sitting there holding it all in on your own. That's weak, bro.
Yep.
Get your ass over here and reach out to anybody, any veteran, anybody that you think would lend an ear just to get it off your chest and stick with us and find one piece of support and keep moving forward. Joe, Mr. Glenn, left, right, repeat. Left, right, repeat.
Yep.
And Cookie, man, thank you for coming on, bro.
Absolutely, brother. Thank you so much for having me. And
I want to be at the ribbon cutting ceremony with the Sicko and Doc cameras. Brian, we're gonna take a plane ride, bro. You film it and we'll go.
I will continue to try to work on that ambition, and because in this area, there's 4 counties, and we are the highest veteran population, I think, in the country.
No kidding. Colorado?
Yeah.
Well, they all went to find the good weed, bro.
Come on out.
And the beautiful skies in Colorado, buddy.
It's beautiful out here. Love it.
Brother, thanks for being a SeaBee.
Absolutely.
Because not everybody can be one. And thank you for your service, dude.
Absolutely, brother. Thank you so much.
And I look forward to following along with you.
I can't wait to promote a little bit more and get a little bit bigger and go from there.
Shine that light, brother. To all our listeners, all our viewers, thank you so much. Hit them buttons for us. We got to get out there and get to veterans. You want to reach veterans, you got to reach veterans. All right. Until next time, everybody, thank you so much. Cookie, thank you. Brian, thank you. Joe and Lori, thank you. Thank you, guys. Be good.
Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe.